Hello again. I still haven't mastered this taking the videos bit remotely, or I'm trying to face forwards this time. Might not be as good a camera, but we'll have to see. When this virus arrived, I was writing to my accountant to say, here are our figures for the financial year. And I just crossed my mind, this guy must be sitting there looking at these things all day long and be totally bored. I know I would be if I was an accountant. That's probably why I'm not an accountant. However, my mind wandered and I started to write a sort of a little lyric, which ended up about 8 verses long, about, well, you'll find out what it's about in a moment. And I sort of, he wrote back to me, he said, that's cheered me up, it's brightened up my day. So I thought, right, okay, I need to put this to some music. And a few days later, came back to me that my parents had an EP, 45 RPM extended play disc when I was a kid, with 4 of Hank Williams songs on it, and these included a song called Everything's Okay. So that sort of tied in a little bit with part of this song I'd written, so it's a bit like a mix and a match. I'll do the Hank Williams one and then I'll follow it with the little bit I wrote afterwards. Okay, so here we go. I went to the country just the other day to see my Uncle Bill and sort of pass this time away. I asked him how he'd been since last I passed this way, and he rubbed his chin and here's what he had to say. Well, my wife's been sick, the young'uns too, and I'm darn near, well, down with the flu. The cow's gone dry and the hens won't lay, but we're still a-living, so everything's okay. Well, the hogs took the cholera and they've all done died. The bees got mad and they left the hive. The weevils got the corn and the rain rotted the hay. But we're still a-living, so everything's okay. Well, the porch rotted down, that's more expense. The darned old mule, he tore down the fence. Mortgage is due and I can't pay, but we're still a-living, so everything's okay. The cow broke in the field and ate up all the beans. The darn rabbits, they got the turnip greens. The ma-in-law just moved in to stay, but we're still a-living, so everything's okay. My land's so poor, so hard and yeller, you gotta sit in a sack of fertilizer to raise an umbrella. It rains out here nearly every day, but we're still a-living, so everything's okay. The well's gone dry, gotta tote the water up from the well about 1.25 miles. My helper, he quit for the lack of pay, but we're still a-living, so everything's okay. The house, it leaks, it needs a new top. When it rains, it wets everything we got. Chimney fell down just yesterday, but we're still a-living, so everything's okay. The canned stuff's spoiled, else the jars got broke, and all we got left is one old billy goat. We're gonna have a baby on the 1st of May, but we're still a-living, so everything's okay. My crop, it rotted in the ground. I asked for another loan, but the banker turned me down. But we're still a-living and praying for better days. So after all, everything's in pretty good shape. Okay, was a version of Hank Williams' song. So, sponsored by Guinness. So now we move on to something I called CV19. It's about the situation we're all in at the moment. New season just around the corner. Our holiday lets, they were great performers. We started off and all was swell. Did our own washing and cleaning as well. Out in the paddock for all to see, we darn well went and lost all our bees. Without no honey there was no money. Our hives were empty among them trees. Hens stopped laying and looked unwell. They're cackling and a-chuckling, they'd gone to hell. One by one they up and died. Jemima and Bronwyn, how we cried. We were listening to a song by Billy Ray Cyrus when the man in the news talked about the virus. Up we sat and we took some interest. How would this affect our business? Couldn't do nothing but close it down, wash it and scrub it amid our frowns. Folks were dying at a terrible rate. All we could do was self-isolate. The whole world has to wait and see. This is bigger than our business, our hens or our bees. Most country songs are a tale of woe. Getting rid of this thing, that's the way to go. We're using our strength, 'cause we are well, to look after our old folks. They think it's hell. My pa-in-law, he don't understand. Wasn't something that he had planned. We can't find a way to gripe and moan. We're luckier than most in this here home. Folks are still dying at a terrible rate. So all we need to do is self-isolate. Okay, that's it for today. Cheers, folks. I'm going to turn off now. Here we go.